everybody, today I'm going to be doing a video all about my top 10 curly hair tips. So these are things that I think are really important if you have curly hair and little things that I do that make a huge difference that you might not even think about with your curls. This can also apply to regular hair too if you have straight hair, wavy hair, whatever. These are going to help too, but they're pretty much geared towards curly hair. So I would love it if you would leave me some of your curly hair tips in the comments down below because I would love for this to just be a place where everyone can share all of their tips and everyone can learn. So David Curl actually asked me to share some of my tips that they were going to use on an Instagram post, I think. So I actually put together a list of 10 things that I sent to them and I thought I would share it in a video because it actually made me kind of gather everything into one place that I normally do all the time, so that it really helped. I'm glad I made this little list, so I thought I would share it with you guys. So the first one is to avoid using sulfates. This is huge. I preach this on my channel. Sulfates are so harsh on hair, especially curly hair. I have tons of videos about this. I will link them down below along with all my other curly hair care videos. Sulfate is the same thing that is in your laundry detergent, in your toothpaste, in your cleaning products, what you clean your floor with. It strips oils, it strips dirt, which is great for cleaning stuff, but I do not prefer to use it on my hair because it's really dry and brittle, so you don't want to break it off. So I opt for a conditioning wash. This is the Living Proof one. This is my favorite. This is the Curl Conditioning Wash. It has extended curl memory, so it helps shrink up your curls. It's very gentle on your hair. I used to hate these type of like cleansing conditioners until I tried this one and I fell in love with it. You have to get used to it though. It takes some time getting used to. If you still prefer a lather, I would opt for like the Aveda shampoo or something with a really mild sulfate where it still suds up and you can get that cleansing feeling, but it doesn't have those harsh sulfates that's going to strip your hair. So my next tip is to never use a towel to dry your hair. Even if you have straight hair, it's going to create so much frizz in your hair. Those little fibers that are on the towel are actually going to pull frizzy pieces out when you're drying your hair. So I actually use a cotton white t-shirt. I have a bunch of them. I wash them with my towels and everything else, but I basically open it up like on the big part of the shirt and I lean my hair over and I wrap it up, and then I wrap it up like I would a towel. It's really easy to do. You can also scrunch your hair with it if you don't want to actually leave it wrapped up, but I prefer to like twist it around so it squeezes all the water out. It makes a huge difference in my hair. Then my next tip is to actually sleep in a satin hair cap or use a satin pillowcase. I prefer a cap just because it just makes such a difference because it keeps the hair out of my face and stuff and it keeps it from tangling. That is really important too, but this prevents frizz, it keeps it from getting knotted up, and this is essential for second day curls. I have a video on this, I believe, but whenever I don't wear this, I pretty much have to restyle my hair and wash it because it looks so bad in the morning. But when I have this on, it just looks amazing the next morning. I take it down and I just refresh my curls with some water and a little bit more product. This is from Satin Lined Hair Caps. I will link you to the website down below, but it actually has satin on the inside and then it's just cotton on the outside. I wash this all the time. I feature this so many times, but I cannot sleep without it. It's just amazing and it makes such a difference, especially if you're going to be restyling your hair. That's another little tip, is try not to wash your hair every single day. I used to be really bad about that. I've gone to every other day now, and sometimes I can push it to 2 days, but this is essential for that. If you can just get your hair detangled and kind of reshape the curls, then you don't really need to rewash it and strip those oils again. I don't even know if this is 10 tips. I'm just going to go through them all. So the next tip is to only brush your hair when it is wet and never brush it when it's dry. I hate when I can't believe I used to do this when I was little. My mom used to do this to my hair when obviously we didn't know much about curls, but brushing it out when it is dry is just awful. You end up with a huge afro. It breaks your hair off, even if you're using a detangler. But when I'm in the shower, I always use a wide tooth comb. I think this is by Conair. I just got it at the drugstore, but it's really slick so it's not going to like grab onto your hair or anything. You don't want to snap your hair. You just want to be really gentle. I use this after my hair has tons of conditioner in it and it's already set for a little bit. You want to let it sit for like 5 minutes before you go in and use that. You also want to make sure you're starting from the bottom when you're detangling your hair, because if you just start from the top, you're just going to pull all those knots down and you're going to end up with a huge knot at the bottom. So it's really important to start at the bottom and kind of hold it like this so that way you're not tugging on the whole strand when you're trying to detangle. This is one of my #1 tips that I have shared with you guys in the past. It's such a minor little thing, but it makes a huge difference. So after you wash your hair and you're still in the shower and you've just rinsed it out, it's kind of like stuck to your head, you know what I mean, where it's just like where you just rinse it out, it's kind of pulled straight. I always take my fingers and I just run it through my hair like this. So I just basically shake it up to where the curls can start to form. With curly hair, your curls start to shrink up as soon as they get done like washing and stuff. So I always just kind of scrunch it up. I just kind of run my fingers through it so it's not like plastered flat to my head when I get out of the shower, and then I turn off the water. So that's the very last thing I do after I wring it out and everything, and then I put it up in a cotton t-shirt. So the curls can start to form when they are loosened up and not just like stuck down, if you know what I mean. It makes a big difference. You should try it. So my next tip is to actually use a diffuser attachment. If you're not already using one of these, it will completely change your life because it makes curls look so much better. It keeps you from getting that awful triangle head where it's really flat on top and poofy at the bottom, because you can really use it to bump up your curls at the top, so it really shrinks them up there, especially if you have that trouble where your hair is kind of straight at the top and then curly at the bottom. This really helps to shrink it up. So this is the Bio-Ionic. This is a universal diffuser, so it's going to go over top any blow dryer that you have. You want to make sure you get a diffuser that has the teeth that stick on the outside. I hate when I've used blow dryers where they are down in the bottom, like to where it's straight on the top. Like at the salon they have it that way, and I cannot stand it because you cannot use the teeth to actually bump up your hair like that. It makes such a difference, and I really recommend this one because it's pretty affordable on Amazon. I will link you to where you can get it, and it's awesome because you can use those teeth to really shrink up your curls. You also put your hair in it like this, and it helps just to shrink up those curls, and you get a lot more body. Another important tip is to make sure that your blow dryer can use a really low setting. So I've had blow dryers that are just way too powerful. They just blow my curls all over the place. You can use the cold setting if you want because that is a lot healthier for your hair, but I prefer a hot setting on a really low like airflow. That way it's still getting them dry pretty quickly, but it's not blowing it all over the place. So you never want to take the blow dryer, you know, and just go all over the place. You don't want to rough up your hair because that's just going to create more frizz. I have a little bit of frizz going on right now because I tried a different style with my hair to where I was kind of like trying to get it to stay back instead of parting it. But normally I can pretty much control my frizz. I'll talk about the products that I use in just a second, but diffuser, you've got to have it if you have curly hair. So my next tip is to deep condition at least once a week. I actually did that this morning. I used the Aveda Dry Remedy hair mask. It's amazing. If you want a cheap one, you can try the Aussie 3-Minute Miracle one. You have to be careful with that one though because it does have silicones and you don't want any buildup to happen on your hair when you're not using sulfates. So I explain all about that in my sulfates video. I will link for you guys down below. My next tip is to actually mix curl creams along with gels or mousses, that sort of thing. So kind of creating like a cocktail. So I use the Living Proof products. They are my favorite, but I also really like the David Curl ones as well. I've done a routine with these, so I will link you guys to that down below if you want to see actually how I use them. But I first start out with the Curl Defining Style Cream. This is a really good hold curl cream. So I always like to use this first to kind of help shrink up my curls. It's a really kind of like light to medium hold. This can actually give your hair some hold. It feels a tiny bit crunchy, but nothing crazy or anything. So I like the amount of hold this has. So I use that before I blow dry my hair, and then to fix like the frizz that's left over after blow drying, and just to give it some more hold so it's not too soft, I use the Curl Enhancing Styling Mousse. So I like to combine both of these so I can kind of play with it and get the hold that I want to where it's not too soft and it's also not too crunchy. So that's really important. And if you're using the David Curl line, I recommend the regular curl styling cream and then their light hold Archangel gel. So that works really well too. That's actually what I used today, just to kind of go back over so it has more hold and it can like tame down the frizz that I get after blow drying. My next tip is to get your curls trimmed every 6 to 8 weeks. I go every 6 weeks. I can already tell now I'm starting to need a trim because once your hair starts to get dead at the end, it doesn't shrink up as good. They just kind of hang stringy and it gets a lot more tangly. If you get a trim, you'll notice your curls shrink up way more. It's more bouncy. They just have more life in them and stuff, and it's not so dead. So if you notice your hair starts to get stringy at the ends or they're just kind of poking straight, then you probably need to trim them. So if you're having trouble getting those to shrink up, it's probably time for a trim. And actually your hair grows faster if you trim it more often because you're getting those split ends off so they don't keep splitting up, making your hair shorter. So along with the damage, my next tip is to avoid heat styling regularly. If you can get your hair to where you like how it is styled when it is curly, if you can find the right products and get the right routine, then there is no need to straighten. So you'll really start to enjoy your curls when they're natural. So it's not like really damaged and stuff. It's terrible for your hair to straighten it all the time. I do it every now and then, probably just a handful of times a year really, because I don't even really like my hair when it's straight. It's crazy. Every time it's straight, it drives me nuts. It feels like it's more work because I'm not used to it. I feel like I don't feel like myself and I don't look the same, that sort of thing. But it's nice to switch it up every now and then, but don't make it a habit and try to only do it occasionally, not on a regular basis. So my last tip is to drink plenty of water and try to eat as healthy as possible. I take biotin vitamins. It's the Nature's Bounty Hair, Skin, and Nails ones. Those are amazing for your hair. They make it grow really fast too, and they're also make your nails really strong and your skin glowing. So that's really important to ensure that you're getting enough biotin and vitamins and stuff like that. And also drinking tons of water is going to make it really shiny too. too, so your curls don't look dull or anything, and that's with any type of hair. It's going to help it grow better too if you have more hydration. So that is all of my tips for curly hair. Please leave me yours in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. You can also tweet them to me at glam-me-up or leave them on my Facebook page, which is just glam-me-up8. I will leave those linked down below for you guys, as well as all the products that I used will be linked on my blog. The blog post that goes with this video is in the description box below too. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye everyone. Hi guys, so today I thought I would show you my at-home facial routine, or just the routine that I do when I really want to get the ultimate facial. So I always start out using